everybody, this is Jamie from Jamie's Hooked. This is my third Vlogtober. I keep telling myself it's Vlogust because I haven't kind of transitioned that into my mind that it's October. It's still stinking hot. I was just checking out the temperature and it was 92, but the real feel was still 96. So it's still pretty hot. But we're supposed to have rain tomorrow. It's like the first rain we've had in probably about 2-3 weeks. I'm happy with that because my poor irises out in the front yard are laying on the ground. It's pretty bad. We need rain direly. And let's see. Then it's supposed to get really cool by Monday. Like we're supposed to have a 20-degree drop from like the low 90s to the low 70s, which is going to be perfect because I think on Monday, the school district that I work in, I think it's fair day. And if anybody doesn't know, we have the State Fair of Texas in the Dallas area. We have a whole fairground devoted to it, and it's a really neat, it's a big to do. It's like a month long to do, and you go there, and I mean they got this giant statue made out of like fabric and wire and all that, and they call them Big Tex, and there goes my phone. I know who it is, and I'm not going to answer that. Anyway, and he's kind of animatronic, so I think they've done Big Tex a few times. Like he's been done over a couple of times, and I know his mouth opens and he says "Hello, folks" and all that jazz. And I don't remember if he waves or not anymore. I think he did wave once upon a time. But anyway, it's really neat. They have a parade every night. It's a really nice parade, and it's pretty impressive. You go there and you can see live music. I mean, you can see all different kinds of bands, anywhere from rock and roll to country, Tejano, all kinds. They got all these cool stages around. You get to go see some really cool. Like one of my favorite bands is called the Kildares. And I discovered them at the state fair, and they're a Celtic rock band. So they have a bit of a Celtic flair to them, and they have really good music. I'm not I haven't been to the state fair, and I didn't go last year, but I went the year before that, and they were there. And I hope they're going to be again here this year. But and because it's such a big to-do, all these surrounding school districts in the Dallas area, like I guess maybe in Dallas County, because even though I live in another city, I still live in Dallas County. Excuse me. Excuse me. Anyway, so they get a free fair ticket, and they get to take off one day from school to go see the fair, and usually it's a Monday. And as a kid, I never got to go to the fair, except for till I got a little bit older, when I could go by myself. I love to go. It's expensive though. It's really expensive, but you get deep fried everything at the fair. Like one year I had deep fried, chicken and dumplings. It was okay. It was good. It's just deep fried, But whenever I go there, I always have to get the beer brat from the Mueller tent. And you go there and you get a beer brat, you get it with some sauerkraut, get that good old spicy brown mustard on that sucker. Oh yes, it's good. Love it. That and a candy and like a caramel apple. Yeah. I mean, it's almost just worth going to the fair just for those two things. But they've got all these really cool exhibits. They've got like this automobile building that you can see all these different makes and models of the newer cars. The new cars. It's just all the, like, everything. It's like a gigantic showroom floor of new cars. You can go in there and you can see all different kinds. Excuse me. And they've got the food building. You can go in there. They've got an arts and crafts pavilion. And also attached to the fairgrounds, they have the Dallas Aquarium. And it's not a big aquarium. It's very, very old. But Dallas has, in downtown Dallas itself, there's this really, really big building called the Dallas World Aquarium. It's kind of expensive to go in there, but it's worth it. And it's a privately owned aquarium. And it's amazing. So if you ever come to Dallas, you need to go see the Dallas World Aquarium. It's about $20 to get in, but it's worth it because it's amazing. Let's see. I also think the Dallas Aquarium, the smaller one, I think that is an affiliate of the Dallas Zoo. And then, let's see, there's a bunch of other museums associated with the fairgrounds. There's a whole row of museums all up and down the fair park area. And there's a not giant, but there's a really big amphitheater in back, and that's where we all go to a lot of concerts there. I personally think it's my favorite one. We call it the Starplex, and everybody in Dallas calls it the Starplex. It's been called other names, but if you say the Starplex, everybody knows what it's talked about. I mean, it used to be called the Juxta Pavilion. It used to be called, I can't remember what else. It's been called several things, like the Smirnoff Center, whoever company has bought it at the time, but somebody has rebranded it as the Starplex, and no matter what, if you'd say the Starplex in Dallas, everybody knows exactly what you're talking about. So, Starplex is really, really cool. I've been to many, many concerts there. It's like my favorite concert venue because they have this giant lawn in the back. And, I mean, of course, they're like, nosebleeds, but you can take a blanket out there, you can sit back there, you can have a good time. And I've had lots of good times back there. I think the last time I went there was for Ozfest, and I got to see Ozzy for the last time. I think after that show, maybe one other show, he had to stop touring. So we got lucky to see Ozzy, and that was awesome. Let's see, what else? Okay, so enough about the fairgrounds. It's really neat. It's a thing. I mean, there's also the Cotton Bowl inside the fairgrounds, So it's a Texas state fixture in Dallas, and it's just a neat place to go. Sometimes I open up the fairgrounds for other events. Like I've been there for for the North Texas Celtic Festival. I think that's what it was, or the Irish Festival or something like that. Anyway, I've been there before, and I think about 5 or 6 years ago they keep the Midway open year round, so you can go there, and ride the rides at the Midway. But all those cost tickets. It's not like a one price thing like if you're going to Six Flags. Pay one price and get in. You have to buy tickets, and there's this gigantic Ferris wheel. I mean, the sucker is like really stinking huge. It's pretty neat. I like riding that, but it's kind of expensive for me. It's almost like 20 tickets, and I think each ticket's about like 50 cents. Last time I checked, it was 50 cents because I didn't go to State Fair last year. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go this year. I want to, but I don't think I'm able to. Because I really don't want to go by myself, and I think everybody else is working. But anyway, so enough about the State Fair. On Monday it's supposed to be beautiful, lower 70s, perfect day to go to the State Fair. It's like so nice. So I might go, I might not go. Probably I'm not going to go. I would like to. But anyway, So I just also wanted to show with you today some of my FOs. I'm not going to show any whips. I'm just going to show FOs today and a couple of acquisitions. Let's see. Recently I had received this as a gift, and I picked it up at Joann's, and someone bought it for me, so that was very, very nice. These are called One Skein Wonders. And I really, really like it. It's got, all the patterns are divided up into the different weights of yarn. And let's see, I mainly do the worsted weight because that's mostly what I have. I mean, I'm pretty sure you can take any of these patterns and convert them to worsted weight or any size yarn you want. It's just that you may not have the same gauge and you may not have the same size. But essentially, if you like that design, you can make it that way. But anyway, so I saw this scarf in there and I thought it was kind of pretty, so I decided to give it a try. Worked out pretty good. And it's this one right here. If you can see it. Yeah, this one is called the fan-centered scarf. So I actually made it. And I'm going to show you this right now. And this is it right here. You can see the fan motif. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Again, I made this in the Lion Brand hometown in Denali. Again, this is what I had purchased over a year ago, and I got it for like $1 a skein. So it's just really, light, kind of medium pink, kind of a dusty pink, I guess you could say. It's not like bright. It's just kind of a dusty pink, a muted pink, medium, almost like mauve. It really, yeah, think about it. It's not as purpley as say mauve is, but anyways, I thought it was a pretty scarf. It's just a good, just around the neck scarf. Nothing fancy. Put a little fringe on it. Just kind of, like a little fashion scarf. Not too bad. Okay, and then my other acquisition, and I think you saw it maybe if you've seen my my video on my craft room. I had purchased a styrofoam head, and I really needed one because I really wanted to take pictures and showcase off my hats. And I've actually seen people where they put their scarves on here too, just around the neck. But anyway, so what was that? Something on my screen came up. Anyway, and then I made my first divine hat. And I don't know if you can tell, but I actually made this with the Karen Simply Soft Party Yarn. The colorway, I can't remember the colorway, but it's like a different bunch of different colors of purple. And I wasn't sure if this would turn out okay because the pattern itself is very impressive. The texture and the stitching of the hat is very impressive, so you really don't need variegated yarn for it, but it actually turned out really good, in my opinion. You can actually see a pattern within the pattern. Yeah, so there you go, right here you can see how it's kind of striping on the pattern, so I was like, well, that's pretty neat, And then I put it on my styrofoam head. Voila, she is lovely. Yes. Other side. Oh, not as lovely. Okay. But, turns out pretty well. So this is my first divine hat. I used Jonna Martinez's pattern. I think she calls hers she doesn't call it divine hat. She calls it something else. If I upload this from my computer, I can link a video to this. Well, I think I have to do it afterwards, after I load it. I'll link it. because she does a really good job at doing tutorials, and I really like using her tutorials. Another person I'd like to do tutorials from is Fiber Spider. I have done a second shawl, and I used the Lion Brand shawl in the ball. I think this one is in the Mirage colorway. But this is the shawl. This is Fiber Spider's Lapping Waves shawl. And it's really pretty. It's more like a shawlette because it's just not very big. As you can probably tell, it's just not that big. But it's just a, triangle shawl. I think it's a, what's the repeat on this? I want to say that is a 1, 2, 3. I think it's a 3-row repeat. But it turns out pretty nice texture. So you can get a good look at it. But I think with the shawlettes, they're really nice because you can wrap them in the front. Looks really cute. Or if you can just kind of wrap them around in the front. You can kind of tie them on the side over here. That's some fun. Yes, so pretty. Anyway, I could make it bigger if I wanted to, but I decided I was just going to go with a little shawlette. Something just to help keep your shoulders warm, basically, or whatever. And then, secondly, so I don't know if any of y'all watched my video when I showed off the Mobius wrap from Fiber Spider. I got all excited over that thing. I love it. So I can't wait till I can start wearing it out in public because I think it's so cool. But someone had given me a shawl pin, and I really like it, and it especially looks good with that Mobius wrap. But this is what it looks like, and actually the person who gave this to me was Dana from Wonderlust. Dana from Dana's Wonderlust Crochet, and I thought this was a really neat gift. So thank you, Dana. It has inspired me. Playing with that Mobius wrap in the shawl pin. So it's inspired me. I can't say it. Inspired me to explore making shawl pins because I was looking them up online, and they're kind of expensive. And to me, they're expensive. It depends on where you're shopping, and etc. I remember seeing them at Hobby Lobby, but I don't know if they carry them anymore. And I don't ever recall seeing them over at Michael's, and I really don't recall seeing them at Joann's. I've seen them as over at Hobby Lobby. But anyway, I was looking online, and I did find some tutorials on how to make your own shawl pins, so I thought that was pretty neat. And it kind of, helped me kind of with a thought process or a creative process with things that I already had at my house. So what I have done is I've made several shawl pin rounds, and out of beads that I had. And here's a metallic silver one with metallic silver pony beads. And I had purchased these probably about a few months ago over there at Hobby Lobby. And these were beads I already had actually bought these beads. I remember buying these beads at a dollar store that's been like there forever. And they had these, these wooden beads for like $1 and a pack of them. And I'll show you what these rings are here in a minute. And then I had purchased these beads from a while ago. Like, I don't remember purchasing these. I have them. I know that I bought them because I was using them for a macrame project that I had started, but I never finished it. And I don't think it was going anywhere, honestly. So I might frog that macrame project because I can't remember where I was going with this thing. But anyway, so I made, I got inspired to make these, and they work really good. They're like the perfect size, and they work really good, especially with this pick. And it works out really, really good. And this one's okay. This one's a little loosey-goosey. Like, I could not get another bead on here to make it look more round. But once you put that shawl pin on there, it kind of tightens up. And this one did okay too. It's still a little bit loosey-goosey. I couldn't completely fit these pony beads all the way around and snap the ring. It's still a little bit loosey-goosey, but honestly, I don't think anyone's going to care. If you're just using it for yourself. If you were to sell this, that may not be a product that you want to sell, but just for yourself, no one's going to really pay that much attention to that. But what I was using, of all things, I was using, I got these at Dollar Tree, but they are let's see, they're 2-inch book rings, and they come in a pack of 6, and they were $1. And this is what I get for trying to do things. Alright, can I get it right? Alright, it's not quite as right as it once was, but anyways, I knocked it over because I disrupted the balance. Okay, but these are the book rings, and they have a hinge. And basically what you do is you put like a hole punch inside a piece of paper or whatever. If you got even notebook paper that already has a hole in it, you can just put this around it, and you can use it as like, well, a book ring, to keep your papers together. But I put beads on it, and I snapped it together, and I made shawl pin rings. I think it worked out pretty good, especially this one. Now, to put that extra bead on here, and then to fasten it took me a few minutes because it was a little bit hard to do. Now this one I tried, this loosey-goosey wooden bead one. This one I tried, and I just couldn't do it. And for this one, I can't get the pony beads around the hinge. So really, I need more beads, bead shopping in the future. I need something that's big enough to cover, big enough hole to cover the hinge, and nothing too big in circumference that would maybe kind of be similar to this size. So, because these turned out perfectly. But if I can find something to this size bead in maybe different colors, that would work out really, really great. So, anyway, that's it in a nutshell. I think, oh yeah, another thought about, I was thinking about making the sticks either out of wooden dowels or chopsticks, like cut, maybe stained, or making some out of wire, like gauged wire, maybe silver to match my beads. I don't know. I think I've got a little bit of wire lurking around somewhere in my old caboodle. Remember caboodles? I still have mine. I have mine from when I was 12, and I just have craft junk in it. it's been my craft box for a very, very long time. But yes, I have a caboodle. And I told my daughter stories about the caboodle and how every girl wanted a caboodle. And I actually got one for Christmas one year, and I think I was 12. And believe me, I did have makeup in it. Anyway, so, I don't know. I think that's it for the most part. So, everybody have a good night, and I hope you enjoyed my little stories about the state fair and some of my FOs and acquisitions. Well, y'all have a good night, alright? Bye.